Well, hello and welcome back to Greg's Game Room. Now, on today's video, I want to play the arcade classic Frogger. I'm going to try to save Frogger, try to get him back to his home. For some reason, you know, he's got an allergy towards water. I don't know what the deal is with that, but let's go ahead and give it a shot. Got to save the frog. Save Frogger. Save Frogger. Not save Ferris. Save Frogger. Such a classic game from 1980, I believe it was. And I already died. Died in that poisonous water. I always thought this was a Sega game, but actually it's a Konami. Konami created this game. What? That's crap. Finally. I think Sega distributed it here in America. And so all of the arcade cabinets and everything said Sega on them. Well, that was a quick game. Not to mention, even the home versions of the game, very tiny on the front of this, says it was licensed from Sega Enterprises. But again, it's a Konami game. Sega didn't make it. That familiar, classic Frogger music. You may have noticed that in re-releases of this version of the game, the arcade version, that song is not present anymore. And it's because the song that you're hearing is actually a Japanese nursery rhyme, and I don't think Konami was actually allowed to use it. Of course, once the game became super popular and blew up, then I think the copyright holders found out and they weren't too pleased, I guess. So you never hear this song on updated versions of the game. Like the arcade 1-up version of this game, you don't hear that music at all. Which is a shame, because that song is just, to me, it's part of the game. And it appears in pretty much all of the home versions too. Oh, now we got the alligator, who I believe was given a name much later. And was it Swampy's Revenge was the name of the game? Is that like Frogger 2, Swampy's Revenge? I just got hit by a truck. Now, I know this game really doesn't need any explanation of what you're supposed to do, but, you know, for completeness sake, let me just say, first thing you gotta do is cross the road, avoiding the cars and trucks that are trying to squish your frog. And you get this brief break here in the middle where you can run around and decide what you're going to do next. Jumping on the turtles. Be careful of the turtles that are diving underwater. You don't want to let your frog touch the water because water is lethal for some reason. That's always been a point of contention. Why is the water in the game Frogger deadly? Oh, I jumped totally wrong that time. You can find your lady frog on the log here and take her back to your home. Wink, wink. You can eat a fly that is in your home base. Oh, and you gotta be careful of the alligators. Sometimes they'll appear in your home. You can't jump on the turtles that are diving very briefly as they're still above water, but as they're diving, dang it, in the water, you don't want to. You want to be on them when they're diving in. One of my favorite episodes of Seinfeld is the Frogger episode where George and Jerry go back to their old pizza place, and there's the Frogger machine there, and it still has George's initials in the high score table. And he buys the Frogger machine. And they're out there on the road playing the game. Well, they hooked it up to a battery. And they're out playing the game. And George gets there, and he's like, "What are you guys doing? You're going to run down the battery." And his Slippery Pete, and I don't know the other guy's name, says, "Eat the fly, eat the fly."
What are you guys doing? Eat the fly, eat the fly.
It's like, you don't eat the fly in this game, really. You just land on it in the house, in the home base at the top. But I always laugh at that. Eat the fly, eat the fly. Such a juggernaut of a game. I mean, Pac-Man is a huge game, but Frogger is a huge game too. And there's been a lot of sequels over the years for Frogger. Even one on the 2600 by Parker Brothers. They did Frogger 2. It's called Frogger 2 3 Deep. Like the number 3. Because it had 3 stages. Like you were on the ground, you were in the... I think in the... You had to go in the air. Jump in the air. To get to the higher stage. What happened to my lady frog? She's red. She's mad. Frogger 2 3D, pretty advanced version of the game. A lot more complicated, a little harder to play. Not quite as fun. This game is fun just because it's so simple. And there just were dozens and dozens of home versions of this game. That's how popular it was. I remember it was on the... Oh, doggone it. I remember it was on the Atari 2600, the 5200, the XE computer, the XL computer, the Intellivision, the ColecoVision, the Tandy, the TI-99, the Nintendo. I think Nintendo had a version of Frogger. I could be wrong on that. There was a Genesis version, which I think is the last game for the Genesis. Same thing with the Super Nintendo. I think Frogger is the final game that was released for the Super Nintendo and the Genesis. But I just remember this advertisement that showed like all these screens displaying all the different versions of Frogger. Like you could get it on any system that you had. And that reminds me, not only do I have the 2600 cartridge here, but I also have the box too. It's one of the few Atari 2600 boxes that I have. Sadly, back in the day, I just threw out all the boxes. I didn't really think to keep them. Dummy. But this is one I got much later. In fact, the funny thing is, too, about Frogger is there's actually 2 Atari 2600 versions of the game. One is the Parker Brothers version, as I'm showing you here, and then the other is the Starpath Supercharger version, which was on audio cassette tape. And you would hook up your cassette player and play it back, and you'd be able to play the game off of a tape. The Supercharger had a little bit more memory in it, so the game is way, way better on the Supercharger than it is on the Parker Brothers cartridge version. All right, got to save the frog. Almost running out of time here. Get me talking about Atari. Oh, I ran out of time. Okay, let's see if I can go across in just one motion here. Ready? I'm just gonna hit up on the joystick, see if I can get across. Up, 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 up. I did it. Let's try it again. I'm just gonna hit up on the joystick. Ready? Up. Up, 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 up. Can I complete the whole game just by pushing up? It's the Frogger Upward Challenge. Oh, I missed the fly. Oh, that was close. One more to go. Can we do it? Can we do it? I've just been hitting up the whole time. Can we do it? Can we do it? Yes! I did it! I just pressed up the whole time. You try it, it's hard. So anyway, that is Frogger for the arcade by Konami, published by Sega. So it gets confusing, but it is a Konami game. Now I'm sure you've played Frogger in the past. If you have, let me know down in the comments your memories of playing Frogger. I remember playing it at a Pizza Hut in Maggie Valley, North Carolina. It's a great game, it's a classic, it's Frogger for the arcade. Anyway, thank you all for watching, I really appreciate it. Take care, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.
That's a good game.